Shubhodaya. We chant the mantra from Atharva Upanishad, Atharva Veda. Three Upanishads in Atharva Veda, Mundaka, Mandukya and Shat Prashna Upanishad. Starts off with this invocation prayer. The meaning of this one is may we be blessed with good eyesight. May we continue to see the noble things, auspicious things through our eyes. May we continue to hear auspicious things through our ears. May the bad news never come to our ears. And may we be blessed with healthy limbs, healthy body, able body. May we live for long. And may all our actions be pleasing to the divine beings. And may the Lord is graces during our wakeful state. May the Lord graces during our dream phase. May the Lord graces, blesses in the deep sleep. May we attain the highest. And this is the meaning of this one. Repeat after me. Om Bhadram Karnebhi Shrunuyama Devaha Bhadram Pashyema Biyajatraha. Again, Bhadram Pashye, we'll start again. Bhadram Karnebhi Shrunuyama Devaha Bhadram Pashyema Akshabhi Akshabhi Yajatraha Stirai Angaihi Stuštuvang Swastanubihi Vishema Devahitam Yadayuhu Swastina Indro Vridrashravaha Swastina Pusha Vishwavedaha Swastina Starkshyo Arishtanemihi Swastino Brihaspatir Dadatu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shubhodaya. Welcome to the 40th batch of yoga here in this center. It's the 40th batch. Last 10 years plus we have been conducting yoga in this center. And yoga means different things to different people. It's a yoga is for the health. It's yoga practicing yoga is for the health. And health in the sense, health is for the body. Yoga for the physical body. I may look very physically healthy, but my mind is disturbed. That is called as unhealthy person. Just because I am not going to a GP doesn't mean that I am a healthy person. Health defines, it's a medical science defines health in one way, but yoga defines health in different aspect. It's a deeper aspect. If in the medical science, if I don't go to the GP, that means I'm a healthy person. But in yoga, it says I may be looking healthy, but mentally disturbed, mentally is agitated, and depression. It's a mental health also is important. If mentally I'm disturbed, it's not a healthy personality. I may be physically okay and mentally okay, but I don't know how to deal with others. Always fighting with neighbors, always fighting with relatives, always fighting with friends, and fighting with our disharmony with our colleagues. That is social health. Social health also is a part of health. If I don't know how to deal with others, that is also, it's a part of health. We have to inculcate that health also. And physical health, mental health, and social health also is important. And fourth one is I may have, it's physically healthy, mentally healthy, socially very social person. Every weekend there is a party, mixing with everyone, very friendly with everyone, but inside it's a feeling of insufficient, that always impoverished within, feeling of discontentment, this lack of peace within, that there is the inner connection. Innerly I am very impoverished. Externally I am very affluent, but inside I'm impoverished. That is also, it's not a health. And yoga caters us physically, helps us to regaining our physical health, mental health, social health, and spiritual health. Health is very important. If I am falling sick often, every time I am falling sick, every week I am falling sick, I am going to the doctors often, it not only disturbs my cycle, my routine, and disturbs my family people's routine also. Their time and energy spent on me looking after me. That I have to be healthy. If I am healthy, I am contributing towards my family's health. If I myself is falling sick often, I am not contributing to my family's health, I am draining family's energy and resources. My health is important for contributing towards the family health. Family health is important for for contribution for community's health. And community's health is important for its contributing towards the nation's health. Nation's health is important, it contributes towards the world health. And health, it has to start from within. From us, it has to start. We can't depend on the doctors to look after us. We have to look after ourselves. Yoga is a science, helps us to regain our health, and we are contributing towards the world health. That it has to start from here. And in Bhagavad Gita, in the third chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the penultimate sloka, it starts with, it says this way, repeat after me, Indriyani paranyahuhu, Indriyebhya param manaha, Manatastu para buddhi, Yo buddhe paratastu saha. It's the same thing. Summary of what I spoke is that one. It's a Bhagavad Gita that in that chapter it says, having a good body is good, but it is not the ultimate. And beyond that one, we need to have a good senses. Senses should be there. Senses, having a good senses, good eyesight, good hearing, able to express properly, able to have the limbs, healthy limbs. It is better than having just a physical body. Having a good senses, healthy senses is better. And healthy mind is even better than that one. Having a healthy mind is better than having a healthy senses. Beyond that one, healthy intellect, able to discriminate what is good, what is not good, where to invest time, where not to invest time, ability to discriminate, buddhi, having a buddhi is better than having a healthy mind. Beyond that one, it's the supreme, because the highest, it's the ability to know something highest, not satisfied with only material things. Through my senses, through my limbs, through our cognition senses, I can see only the material things. Okay, I can go to a library, I can read everything, or I can buy something. Through the material things I can buy, but yoga is a science. It's both material and metaphysical. It's both physical science and metaphysical science. It's a physical science, okay, through my senses, I can acquire that one. To acquire the metaphysical science, it is not coming to the cognition of my senses. To know the beyond that one, we had to depend, we had to surrender to the highest. Because of that one, that metaphysical science opens up in us. Metaphysical science, it doesn't come into the cognition of the senses, it is beyond the cognition of senses. That is called as metaphysical science. To know that one, we have to surrender to the Supreme. Because of Him, this intellect works, because of Him, the mind works, because of Him, these senses works, because of Him, this body exists. It's a physical, it's a yoga, it's a physical science and metaphysical science. And to know that one, physical science and metaphysical science. To acquire a physical science, I can go to some university, I can enroll in a university and go to a teacher and learn that one. Or go to a library, Google up and learn the physical science. To understand the metaphysical science, you need a teacher. That teacher, because we are treading a path of unknown. that our path is unknown. We don't know, it's not coming to the cognition of our senses. We need a teacher, that dependable teacher who has tread that path, that so that he or she will guide us in that metaphysical area. That teacher has passed through that one. He or she knows the path, and he or she can guide us. And in Upanishad, it is there in Mundaka Upanishad, it's a teacher, you have to have a right teacher, otherwise it is like it's a blind man leading the another blind man, and both of them will fall to a pit. It's the same thing, it is there in Bible also, it's Bible also, it has taken from the Upanishad. The teacher has to be that he or she should have passed through that path and know the destination, and should be able to lead the other teacher. And the teacher we need to have a teacher. And to teacher in Bhagavad Gita, it says, when you come across that teacher, by luck, by fortunate, if you are fortunate enough, if you come across that teacher, it is not like a physical science, metaphysical science, that if you come across tadviddi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya, if you come across, go unto him, and it's have humility, surrender to that person. And when you surrender and question him, not out of your arrogance, and out of humility, ask question to earnest eagerness to know the highest. If you surrender and ask out of humility, ask the question, the teacher may reveal you the secret. The teacher may, it is not mandatory, he or she may reveal you the secret. And tadviddi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadeshyanti te jnanam jnanina tattvadarshinaha. He or she may reveal that secret of that one, that metaphysical science. And one quality of the student, what is required is the humility, surrenderness is required. You see, earnest, the qualities required by a student, it says, one is intense longing to know the highest. The quality should be there, that one of the qualities. Intense longing should be there. And the second one, humility should be there. And it's a humility to learn and surrender to the teacher, it is required. And yesterday somebody was saying that you are my guru, and teach me. And in Shastra it says, it is not, I can't say you are my guru. In Bhagavad Gita in the second chapter, Arjuna says, I am your disciple, lead me. That is two different, it though appears to be same, you are my guru, lead me means that it is your responsibility. That you are my guru, that I am appointing you as a guru, it's like that. And in Arjuna says, I am your disciple, now lead me. That it's your disciple, there is a humility is there. Then Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna started Bhagavad Gita from that shloka onwards. If Arjuna would have said, you are my guru, look after, that Bhagavad Gita would not have come out. And Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna says, I am thy disciple, and lead me. And from then Bhagavad Gita started. And it's a requirement for a student, that requirement, one is earnest, intense longing to know the highest, and second one, it's surrender and humility, and with that one, that knowledge, that then Bhagavad Gita, that interaction, then it happens. This is with the introduction. We'll continue further. Lie down on your back.